Okay, good day. Quick question, bud. How many unopened boxes are sitting in your closet right now? And how many of those did you buy thinking, this is the one that'll fix my motivation? Yeah, that's shiny model syndrome, eh? And when those boxes start giving you anxiety instead of excitement, that's the backlog blues. Today, we're talking about why good hobbyists buy more than they paint, why your brain loves new stuff but hates finishing things, and how to actually enjoy your collection without the guilt spiral. So smash that like, hit the subscribe button, and let's tame this plastic beast together, eh? Welcome back to C7 Hobbies, episode 19, where we talk about the psychology of Warhammer, miniature painting, and tabletop gaming. Basically, what's happening in your brain while you're elbow deep in plastic sprues, eh? I'm Colossal Meltdown. My friends call me Colossal or CMD. Why Colossal? Well, with the name of Don Key Dick, just call me Colossal. This episode's part of the Taming the Collection Beast series, where we figure out why we collect the way we do, why our piles grow faster than a snowbank in February, and how to keep this hobby fun instead of stressful. And before we dive in, let me be crystal clear about something. Collecting isn't bad. Having a backlog isn't a moral failure. And liking new shiny models doesn't make you weak. It makes you a hobbyist, a normal human hobbyist with a functioning dopamine system and a love for tiny plastic spacemen or space women or even space bugs, whatever floats your boat, eh? So let's stop treating your collection like a character flaw and start understanding what's actually going on here. Beauty. What is shiny model syndrome? All right, let's start with shiny model syndrome. You know the feeling, eh? A new kit drops, a limited edition model gets announced. Your body sends you a text and a link at 11 p.m. saying, buddy, look at this. And then suddenly your brain goes, oh yeah, this is the one. This is the kit that'll finally get me painting. This is the project that'll spark joy. This color scheme, chef's kiss, bud. So you buy it, and it feels good. The anticipation, the excitement, imagining how cool it looks all painted up. Your brain's throwing a little dopamine party, eh? But then the box sits and sits, and your old projects are still sitting. And now you've got 3, 4, or even 5 projects you're excited about and 0 you're working on. No judgments, eh? So here's what's happening in your brain. Novelty seeking is a real psychological drive. New things trigger excitement. Fresh possibilities feel good. Sometimes they feel better than actually finishing something, because finishing is work, but imagining is free, eh? Your brain releases dopamine when you anticipate reward, not just when you get it. So, buying the model gives you that hit. Starting it gives you another hit. But finishing, that's the grind. That's where the dopamine drops off. Now, liking new stuff isn't the problem, eh? The problem is when buying replaces doing. When you're shopping for motivation instead of creating it. When your collection becomes a to-do list instead of a toy box. That's when shiny model syndrome stops being fun and starts being friction, eh? And look, I'm not judging. I once bought 3 starter collection boxes in 1 month because, variety helps creativity. Which is just a fancy way of saying I have 0 impulse control, bud. The Backlog Blues. Now, let's talk about what happens when all that excitement turns into the backlog blues. You walk past your hobby shelf, you see the stack of boxes, the pile of unfinished projects, the stuff you swore you'd get into. And instead of thinking, oh, cool options, you think, I'm behind. I wasted money on this. I should have finished this by now. Other people paint way more than me. What's wrong with me? That's not motivation, bud. That's shame. And shame doesn't inspire you to paint. It makes you avoid the hobby entirely, eh? So here's what's actually happening. Your brain started attaching meaning to the pile. It's not just models anymore. It's evidence of failure. Proof you can't follow through. A monument to wasted money and broken promises. And there's an actual research backing this up. Large collections with too many options create something called decision fatigue. Your brain gets overwhelmed trying to choose what to work on, so it chooses nothing. Paralysis by analysis, bud. So, the pile just doesn't sit there, taking up space. It's actively stealing your energy, making you feel guilty, turning something you love into something you avoid. And that's the backlog blues, eh? If you're nodding along right now thinking, yep, that's me, you're not alone. This is one of the most common hobby struggles. You're not broken, you're just human, bud. The collection loop. All right, let's zoom in and look at the bigger pattern here. I call it the collection loop. And once you see it, you can't unsee it, eh? Here's how it works. Step 1. You feel inspired. Maybe you saw a cool army online, or a new codex drop, or you just need a hobby win. Step 2. You buy something new. It feels good. Dopamine hit. You're back in the game, baby. Step 3. Short-term excitement kicks in. You're planning color schemes, watching tutorials, maybe even prime a model. Step number 4. Life happens. Work gets busy, friends visit, the Habs are playing, or whatever. Step 5. The project stalls. It's not dead, just paused. Step 6. Guilt shows up. I should be working on this. Why can't I finish anything? Step 7. Motivation drops. Now painting feels like homework, not fun. Step 8. Another shiny thing appears. Ooh, new Necrons though. Step 9. Repeat. Sounds familiar, bud? This loop isn't about willpower. It's not about being lazy or undisciplined, eh? It's about unmet emotional needs to the hobby. You want excitement. Novelty gives that. You want progress. But finishing is hard. You want to feel capable. New purchases feel like potential. You want to belong. Having the new thing makes you feel current. The loop keeps running and running because it's trying to solve something. But it's solving it with shopping instead of painting, bud. So, the trick isn't to stop buying forever. That's unrealistic and frankly un-Canadian and potentially even uncapitalist. The trick is to interrupt the loop at the right spots, gently, without shame, and that's what we're doing next, eh? Practical strategies. All right, beauty. Time to get tactical. These aren't just try harder tips. These are actual strategies that work with your brain instead of against it, eh? Strategy number 1. Mindset shift. Your backlog is a menu, not a to-do list. First thing, stop treating your collection like homework. Your backlog isn't a test you're failing. It's a menu of options, bud. When you go to Tim's, you don't feel guilty about not ordering everything on the menu, eh? You pick what you want right now and move on. Your models work the same way. Try this reframe, and I know it sounds goofy, but it works. Instead of, I should paint this, try, these models are waiting for me, not judging me. It sounds silly. It works surprisingly well because shame kills motivation, but curiosity feeds it, bud. except this guy. Get here! Guy, total hose head. I hate when he does that. Strategy number 2, the active box rule. Here's the move. Pick one box or project to be your active project. That's it, just one, eh? Everything else, that's just inventory, storage, options for later. Your brain can't focus on 17 things at once. When everything's a priority, nothing is. So, give yourself permission to ignore 90% of your collection and go all in on the one thing you're actually excited about right now, bud. And yeah, you could change your active project. I'm not your dad. But you have one active project at a time, eh? Otherwise, you're just spreading peanut butter too thin and wondering why nothing tastes good. Strategy number 3. Minimum viable hobby sessions. Stop asking, do I have the time to paint today? Start asking, do I have 10 minutes? Because here's the thing, bud. Momentum beats motivation. A base coat counts. Cleaning mold lines count. Building one model counts. Even just looking at your project and thinking, yeah, I still like this, counts. Small wins stack up. And small wins don't trigger the pressure that kills motivation. You're not committing to 3 hours of edge highlighting. You're just spending 10 minutes with your hobby, eh? So try it for a week, 10-minute sessions. You'll be shocked how much actually gets done. Strategy number 4, the cooling off period. I'm not going to tell you to never buy new models. That's unrealistic, joyless, and frankly, uncapitalists. So try this. Wait 48 hours before impulsive buys. Put it in your cart. Walk away. Come back in 2 days. If it's still available, eh? So do this thinking when they announce it, if we're talking about Games Workshop stuff, eh? In 48 hours, ask yourself, what am I hoping this model gives me? Excitement? Motivation? Belonging? Do I already own something that could give me that? Will I actually paint this? Or is this shiny model syndrome talking? And here's a sneaky one. Pair buying with finishing. Finish one thing, doesn't have to be perfect, just done, before you buy the next thing. That way, buying stays intentional, not emotional, and you actually clear space in your backlog instead of just adding to it, bud. Strategy number 5, the Spark Joy Test. Stolen directly from Marie Kondo, eh? But applied to plastic spacemen, space women, or space bugs, eh? Look at your collection and ask which of these actually sparks joy right now. Not which one you should paint, not which one's meta, not which one's costs the most, which one you go, yeah, I like to work on that. When you look at it, that's your active project, bud. Everything else can wait. Humour Beat. All right, quick reality check, eh? If owning unbuilt kits were illegal, half the community would be doing time, eh? The other half would be ratting people out to reduce their sentences. You're not broken. Your hobby's not out of control. You don't need an intervention. You need a system that works with your brain, not against it, eh, bud? So take a breath. Look at your pile and remember, those models aren't judging you. Yeah! Will you stop it? Will you? Oh, stop it! Guy rides me up every time. They're just chilling, waiting for their moment, eh? And when you're ready, they'll still be there. Beauty. Supporting yourself and others. Before we wrap up, I want to talk about something important. How we talk to ourselves and each other about this stuff, eh? If you're feeling overwhelmed by your backlog right now, I need you to hear this. You're not lazy. You're not bad at the hobby, and you're not failing. You're just navigating a hobby that's designed to keep selling you new stuff while expecting you to finish the old stuff. That's not a level playing field, eh, bud? And if you've got a friend drowning in backlog shame, don't make jokes about their pile of shame. Don't flex your muscle how much you've finished. And don't tell them to just paint faster. Instead, paint with them. Build together. Normalize unfinished projects. Because this hobby survives on community, not completion, eh? I've got models I bought years ago that are still in the box. And you know what? That's fine. They're there when I'm ready. And if I'm never ready, well, then I enjoy the idea of painting them. And that's valid too. Your hobby doesn't owe productivity to anyone. Not to the internet, not to your friends, not even to yourself, eh? Reflections and next steps. All right, beauty. Here's your homework, and it's the easiest homework you'll ever get. What's one model in your collection you're actually excited about right now? Not the most expensive one, not the tournament ready one, not the one you should work on because it's been sitting there the longest. Just the one that makes you smile a little when you think about it, eh? Yeah. That's where you start. That's your active project. Everything else, menu items for later, bud. And if nothing sparks joy right now, that's fine too. Take a break. The hobby will be here when you're ready, eh? If this episode helped you breathe a little easier about your collection, do me a solid. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and drop a comment and finish the sentence. I don't have a pile of shame, I have a pile of... I want to hear your creative reframes. Make them funny, make them wholesome. Just make them yours, eh? Until then, take it easy, paint what you love, and remember, this hobby works for you, not the other way around, eh? Beauty. I have a hobby hangout on Twitch for those interested in painting with an awesome group. Details below in the description, along with information of our Discord server. Be sure to check out the Misinformer Miniature Podcast. Get your latest tabletop gaming news with a comedic spin. You can find it on YouTube, Apple, Amazon, Spotify, and most podcasting sites. I now have affiliate links down below in the description. You can support the channel by purchasing hobby supplies that I use through the links in the description. It doesn't cost you anything extra. In fact, it saves you money and it supports the channel. It's a win-win. Totally awesome. Or you can buy me a coffee. Whatever floats your boat, eh? I greatly appreciate all the support. Without you, this would not be possible. So thank you. Now go forth, be awesome, and paint for the paint gods.